Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. Those things we didn't get to during the course of the show today, including a welcome back to our sick friend Gavin, who came in appropriately still sick.
Still faking it.
Yeah, if you are, you're doing a great job. I believe you. The cough sounds real, sounds productive, so that's good.
That's what I learned in my theater minor in college.
Yeah, and it's paying off for you because I believe you, and I actually feel bad for you for having to come in today. But we have Toby coming in, and so we need all hands on deck. And
just so I can cough on Toby.
Yeah, get him sick, destroy the tour. So that Gavin can run the cameras and stuff, so we can have video of all of this to share with you one day. So besides being sick, was your travel good? Was your trip good with your parents and stuff?
Yeah, it was good. The start of it was a little bit rough because my flight got delayed about 2.5 hours due to what I assume might have just been wind, because it was very windy in like the Midwest and in Tennessee at that point, which I feel like we've flown through stuff like that before, but I just kept seeing my thing get pushed back and back. My wife were at the mall, so we just hung out at the mall a lot longer than I expected to, did a lot more shopping than we expected to, which was okay, and then got out there, saw my parents, which was great, saw a good 10 plus friends that I had back in college. Game was fun, cold, but fun.
Nice.
And then flight back yesterday, and yesterday was a good day, except for the landing process on that second flight after my layover. Just had all this sinus pressure in my head, just poof. And so I can't hear very well. I can hear you, but it's very muffled, very stuffy still.
And on a plane, there's nothing you can do about that. You just have to ride out. You try to clear your ears, and it hurts, and then they either clear or your sinuses explode. And so
not a great option.
No, neither one of those is a good thing. Well, the clearing feels good, but it hurts. It goes.
Yep.
You hear it go in your head, and then you're like, okay, I'm alive again. I had what's called tooth squeeze one time when I was diving.
What?
And when you go,
wait, what are you? What are you saying? You had what?
Tooth squeeze.
Okay.
Do you think I said toot squeeze? Tooth.
There's another name for that.
Yeah. I had just had Chipotle and I had toot squeeze. In diving, when you go down deep, there are atmospheric condition, they call it going down atmospheres, and so things compress, and your body compresses, your lungs compress, and I guess I had a cavity filled in, and there was air in it or whatever, and so that air compressed.
Ooh.
And it felt like somebody had pliers on my tooth, just cranking it down, and it hurt so bad. And they said the only way to get rid of it was to go up and try to come back down and get it to balance out. And if it wouldn't balance out, then you just had to abort the dive. And I went up 3 times, and then finally it cleared, and I was able to go up. But that was some of the worst pain I've ever been in.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Tooth pain is the worst. Tooth pain. Have you ever had a toothache and the dentist is closed and you got to wait through the weekend? Have you ever had that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I've always had teeth problems. And I've had that before where I've had to wait, or I've been on a trip and had to wait to get home. Oh, I can handle a lot of different pain. I mean, I've done kidney stones and worked through it and stuff, but tooth pain is the worst. Remember that one, I had a root canal that I needed, and it was during support drive, and I had to hold a mug of hot water against my face each time. You were still doing calls back then.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, you were still doing calls, and I had to hold hot water against my cheek in between talking things to get my face to be where I could talk. And then I finished and went and got my root canal that day. And you know how he found which tooth was the problem? I'll never forgive him for this. He's like, can you tell me which one it is? I'm like, it's one of these two. I don't know which one per se because it's all inflamed. This guy.
Does he tap, 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 tap?
Yeah, he took the end of one of the scrapers and goes, pow! And hit the tooth. And I'm like, what? Why? He goes, okay, it's that one.
Ow.
And it's funny because he still remembers that day because it hurt so bad. I went and had my teeth cleaned the other day, and I talked to him. I was like, hey, remember that time? And he's like, oh, I remember that when I lit you up. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And I like this, Dennis. But yeah, so anyway.
That's sick.
Let's get into some of the other stuff here. Holiday shopping has already begun, and there are companies that are trying to win your business this year with things other than discounts because they realize people are spending less based on inflation, and so people are going to spend less money, so they want to get all of the money that you are going to spend spent with them versus going somewhere else. And so retailers, if you're going to be out, one of the big things that they've found is that people hate lines and waiting and inefficiency. And so they're working really hard to make your shopping experience faster. And they're hoping that if they're doing that well, you'll spend more money with them. Like I went to McDonald's last night. We were on the way home from serving with the homeless thing. And then Marty, for some reason, wanted milkshakes. Like, okay, this is easy. We'll run through the milkshake line. 30 minutes.
No, it did not.
30 minutes.
No, it did not.
3 hours and 30 minutes.
You are so dramatic. No.
It was every bit of 20. It might have been 25. And call my wife, call Rhonda, who was with us. It was crazy because my wife kept going, we can go. And I was in the line. I'm like, no, we're here. It can't be that much longer.
Where were you?
Just at McDonald's. And I'm like, it can't be that much longer.
Checks out.
Can't be that much longer. And it was that much longer. And then the guy in front of me ordered a grip of stuff. And then when he got up to the window, then his order took forever. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I was fine. I got
you got through it?
Ish. But it was like I don't want to go back to that McDonald's because of that bad experience and the time it took, because time is important to people. And so companies that get that right, they have better business, because they don't waste your time. They value your time. Another thing Amazon is doing, they actually announced that they're going to start taking Venmo as payment.
I could see that as a win.
Yeah.
Because then you can just walk out. You know what I'm
this
saying?
is Amazon, like
online.
online.
I thought you were talking about the Amazon stores.
Oh, well, another thing, part of this other article was that stores are doing the mobile checkouts. So like they do in the Apple store, are you ready to check out? And they just check you out right there. So you don't have to go to any lines.
I can see that.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah.
But no, they're going to take Venmo.
I don't get where Venmo helps with Amazon then.
You pay
ordering online.
Does Amazon has its own like Venmo account that you would pay?
You're already paying online anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's just another option because you have PayPal and all those other options. Yeah. It's another option of using digital money, basically.
I wonder if it's an advantage for those people who are just like weird and keep a bunch of money in their Venmo account.
Yeah, I keep none.
I've just held on to like $500 and now I'm spending it, and I've kind of operated without that money. So it's like I'm getting a free gift from Amazon.
Venmo is completely transactional for me. It's like, okay, money comes in, money instantly goes out. And that's how all of my friends were always like, oh, here, I'll Venmo you right now. And then they transferred immediately. I don't understand people that keep a Venmo account with money in it. I don't do that either. This was kind of a cool, I'll hold this for a good news thing tomorrow. That's pretty good. Lady Rock, what do you got?
Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, yes.
He was on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and they did that thing where they take classroom instruments and make medleys out of the guests' songs. And that's exactly what they did with Weird Al, but they took a bunch of his songs and put them all together.
Oh, did they sing too? Okay,
and it
good.
was awesome.
Because otherwise they're doing everyone else's songs without the words.
Just eat it, eat it, eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's spoiled or fried. Just eat it, eat it, just eat it, eat it. Because I'm fat, come on. You know I'm fat, come on. You know that you're going to eat plenty for yourself and tell me once again.
You're fat. About the Yoda song. He's had a grip of hits. It's funny that we all know these songs, and we all know Weird Al and like him. It's crazy that he was the guy that made a whole career out of that.
That was amazing. Yeah, and that he was just himself. And now he's like a millionaire.
Yeah. And he was just an accordion playing nerdy guy and made it happen for himself. There is he had two songs from Michael Jackson. And the interesting thing about Michael Jackson is he's one of those artists where you're like, oh yeah, he had 4 or 5 good songs. And then you look at the discography and you're like, oh, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. He had so many hits. I was preparing for Toby Mac and I had the same thing happen. I'm like, oh yeah, I love a bunch of his music. And I was thinking, okay, he's had 5 10 really big hits. And then when you start going through his albums, like, oh my gosh, this guy has 30 plus hits, you know, and they just keep coming.
That was what surprised me about Pink. I remember I was on a road trip with a friend of mine, and we couldn't pick up like any data on our phones and all this stuff. So we put in a mixed CD that her sister had in her car of Pink, and it had like 16 or so songs on it, and they were all Pink. And I was shocked because I was like, I didn't realize she had this many hits, or that I knew this many songs of hers. So
yeah, Toby definitely is like that
eye-opening.
too. So we'll talk to him about some of that stuff. We're going to do a teachable moment with him, which will be fun. So we'll have video of all of this stuff coming out in the next week or so. But that's that. So we got to go prepare for Mr. Mac.
That was a burp.
That was a
silent. A tooth,
but burpy.
What did you call it?
A tooth squeeze.
A tooth squeeze.
That's what the actual technical term is.
It's a tooth
squeeze. There's your name of your podcast, I guess. All right. You got any birthdays for us?
I do.
Okay.
Michael wants to wish his wife, Monica, a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Monica said she's a stay-at-home mom of 3 boys, bless, under 4 who can bake banana bread like no one's business.
Cool.
If Jesus had this bread when feeding the 5,000, there would have been no baskets left. Well said, Michael. Well said.
Really funny.
His question is, if you were president and you could pass one law, nothing serious, with bipartisan support, what law would you pass? I have 2. I would either pass the 3-day weekend, or I would pass no more time change.
Oh, yeah. Those are both really good ones.
And you would get people's votes for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Mine would be the Taffy Act, that everyone gets a new thing of taffy every day from Buc-ee's.
Let me tell everyone what's going on. So Marty, Wally's wife, went to Atlanta, and on her way back, she stopped at a Buc-ee's gas station.
Love Buc-ee's.
She stopped and was so kind of her. She got me some beaver nuggets, and she got Gavin some cotton candy taffy.
So good.
But she also got Wally some cotton candy taffy.
It's my favorite.
Now, in it, the bag says that there are 11 servings, and 5 pieces make a serving.
Yeah, so 55.
So
that's not a lot when you think about it that way.
Well, when you start calculating up the calories, that's where Wally fell off the wagon, because in less than 24 hours, he ate the whole bag. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot.
It was what you calculated, 1,300 something
like
calories.
that. It was insane.
It was way more than I thought. I thought I was eating healthy.
Yeah, each piece is what, 25 calories?
What do you consider? You thought pasta was healthy at one point.
Like if I'm having, if I eat like 3 or say 5 of those things, and it's 50 calories or whatever, I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. That's great. But I can't just eat 5.
5 is 125 calories.
Yeah, that's a problem, I guess, because I can't just eat 5.
Especially when you add on 50 more.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when I finished those, I had a sugar cookie for dessert.
Because you need a dessert after
I did
those many pieces.
That's the kind of stuff that makes it so bewildering when you go to get your little physical checkups, and they're like, "You're all good."
Yeah,
it's like, man, you don't deserve that.
No, I don't. Absolutely. It's good genes, I guess. Like Zach, who used to do what Gavin did on the show, found out he had diabetes. And I'm like, oh, that would have been a death sentence for me. Like, I don't think I could make that change. I would always push it and be like, okay, I can balance it out. I can regulate. Like, if I have a lot of sugar here, I'll have less later. I would.
I think that's the reason why you don't have diabetes.
Because God knows
it would kill you.
He knows it would be the enemy. But, but he's
and
giving
he
me
needs you around a little bit longer for something.
Don't know what.
We're not sure what.
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery.
It's just to keep Betty Rock employed.
It might be. It just might be.
That's my whole mission in life. You let me know when you're done working, and then I can quit.
Let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right. Any more birthdays? Or is that it?
That's it.
Wait, let's wind this thing up, and that's going to do it for your Aftercast. Thanks for being a potty.